Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, by Sham, Yahawah, by Sham, Qadash. We give double honors to our apostles who are stone, teach very well. But we want this true form and salutation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in our true faith and sincerity, man. You know, and today, man, we just want to come in weekend and kick out the prophesy against the things that's going on, man. Because, hey, it's a biblical time, man, that we're in right now. And the part of that biblical timeline is the elect recognizing and knowing who they are. You know, and realizing why you're in this position. Father Sham, if a brother can't get that Amos 5:15, acknowledge your offenses. Because again, Jake is always looking for answers, whether it be in the form of, you know, dope selling drugs, whether it be in the form of you popping a lot of women, whether it be in the form of riches. You know, but that true hope and comfort is not going to really come until you come and look towards Yahawashi, man. You got it.
Amos chapter 5, verse 15, it says, hate the evil and love the good.
Yep, it says, hate the evil and love the good.
And establish judgment in the gate.
And establish judgment in the gates. And the part of us establish judgment in the gates is us coming out on the highways and byways right now, man. You got it, bro.
It says, it may be that the Lord power of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph.
So this is how you get on the good side. I hate evil. Jump up the verse. What verse 10 is it?
It says, Amos 5:15, it says, hate the evil and love the good.
Yeah, hate the evil and love the good. A part of you hate the evil is hating the old shit that you used to do. You got it?
It says to establish judgment in the gate.
Yeah, establish judgment in the gates. Establish the right way to go. You got it?
It may be that the Lord of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph.
Yes, and this side the Lord is going to be gracious unto the elect, because the elect know the difference between right and wrong. But in order to know the difference between right and wrong, like the high priest Elder Yahawah said, man, you have to know wickedness, man. And that's the reason, the situation why the Lord have us here in this situation right now, man. Instead of us knowing about it, the Lord have us experience wickedness, man. You got it.
God, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
It says the Lord said he would go and go into his place until what they acknowledge their offenses, man. You know, and the part of you acknowledge your offenses, you acknowledging you sinning against Yahawashi, you sinning against the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You got it?
God, and seek my face.
And seek my face, man, because again, once you know that you did wrong, you want the best, you know, you want to try your best to get back on your father good side. Come on.
In their affliction, they will seek me early.
And that's the point. In their affliction, they shall seek me early. And that's why Yahawashi is going to bring the time of Jacob's trouble. You know, because again, you know, everybody can just talk the talk, but it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to walk the walk, man. And even says, walk the shape, you got hold that to me in the day of their affliction. I think it's Psalms. Read that again.
God, this is Hosea 5 and 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face in their affliction.
In their affliction, once you're going through hell, once you realize why you're in this situation, you got it?
They will seek me early.
And they will cleave unto Yahawashi. And that's when people going to realize that those different drugs, the shit that Esau have to offer you, you know, money, cars, clothes, and hoes, those things are not going to suffice your spirit starving, man. Because a lot of jakes in this Western society, they are spiritually malnutritious. You know, they don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahawashi. They have them a peace of mind. And that's what the Lord give us by giving us this knowledge, to having a peace of mind. Because wherever the head go, guess what? The ass is going to follow.
That's why Yahawashi told the woman at the wedding, he told her that, hey, if you drink this water, you should never thirst again.
That's
Why?
it.
Because hey, you gonna have full understanding. You ain't gotta run here, you ain't gotta run there. It ain't no, oh, I gotta hold this and hold it tight. It's like, nah, this is enough. This is gonna be enough. But when you move on these other doctrines, these other spirits, hey, you're gonna need another fix. You went into it months ago. You're gonna always need another fix. You're dealing with Esau and dealing with this Western society.
It's it. And again, it's a drug. That's why even the Lord compared to American philosophy is what? Alcohol or drink or wine. Because again, what it do, it depicts your, it changes your point of view. Instead of you focusing on all the hell that you catching, you just focus on that here and now moment. for the lack of better words, that microwave generation.
What happens with society when reality begins to set in on the alcoholic? He gets the shakes. When you catch the shakes as an alcoholic, that means that's your body going through a state of detox, and it really doesn't want to deal with the reality in which it's subject to. You know, so it begins to shake, and then you catch what after the shake? You begin to catch those clamoring sweats. You see, Yahawashi is a sobering substance in the society, man.
And just adding on that sober, that's what Jacob's trouble from. Again, you know, because we can talk now, but what's gonna happen when the famine hit, man? You gotta still have that same faith right now. That's the scripture about enduring until the end. The little shit that we enduring until right now is actually for us to endure the times that shit really get hard, bro. You know, so again, you pulled out that scripture earlier this week, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So again, the Yahawashi putting us on game, you know, to refrain for certain things, man. So we won't get taken in the time of Jacob's trouble. What you got, Al?
Yep, this is the book of Psalms 110 and verse 3. And it says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness. From the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth.
Yeah, it says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, man. So again, people are going to be willing to listen to Yahawashi when shit get real, man. When things get bad and when ultimately your comforts get cut off, man. Because again, you know, tricking off, having fun, all that thing's going to be thrown out the window once the lights cut off, man. Once certain foods and luxuries are taken away. It's only going to be you and Yahawashi that day, man. Shah, you got something?
Real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time.
It's beautiful, man. It says wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your times, man. You're going to tell me stability means stable, rooted, grounded. So when the winds blow and the floods come, you can be standing stiff because you knew that this shit was going to happen, man. Unlike a lot of people who don't know that the RL, you know, to the I to the DC here is the tiny device that's going to your skin, man. People don't have that wisdom, knowledge, understanding. You're going to be taken about it, man. Because really, this truth is actually to preserve you. You having the wills, you have your wits about you. It's actually meant for you to, you know, to stave away. You got it, bro.
And strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahawashi is his treasure.
Yes, it's the fear of the Lord, Yahawashi is his treasure, man. So again, a part of you fearing the Lord is an action. You know, you stop doing things, you refrain from certain things, and a part of you fearing the Lord is you leaning upon him instead of leaning upon the outward comforts that this world has to offer, man. Because the only thing this world has to offer is the comforts of the flesh. And once those things get taken away, then what else are you going to lean upon? Either you're going to lean upon a tiny device that's going to go into your skin, or you're going to lean upon the Lord. Prophet Rashad, get 36 and 6, Isaiah. You have some talk about?
Yeah, I want to make a point. Because what they supposed to be filling themselves with in the spirit of Yahawashi now, hey, in that day, when those comforts are taken away from you, what are you gonna have to fill that void? You're gonna find yourself to be bored. To be bored is it's a hollow. There's a missing. There's a hole.
Yeah.
You see, you're gonna find yourself bored. How you used to feel your day. This brother in the day of taking trouble, he gonna lean in the scriptures like, yo, this is that, and he got time to break down precepts. You know, keep building in the spirit. But this nigga, he gonna be running out of his wits. He gonna run out of his wisdom, his worldly wisdom of understanding of how can I get a blunt? How can I get some bop? How can I get the next hit? You see, they're gonna find themselves to be bored. What does the scripture say? They shall find themselves to be wanting. You see, to be wanting is to be what? To find yourself to be defective. You see, you're not fit for the Lord to use you in any capacity. So therefore, you must be rejected. You got to go through the recycle phase. You got to get set on fire. See, like a defective product or what? You break that thing back down, you send it through the recycle bin. Hey, it could be used at a later date and time. You see? But I had something for you real quick. I was trying to get that board, but then you know this internet. But I'll go here real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus of Sirach 11 and 25. It says, in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction.
It says in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. Because once you start doing good, you don't think about those bad times. Continue on.
It says, in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
And that's going to be in the time of Jacob's trouble. Niggas gonna forget about them ones, cars, clothes, and hoes, or even nostalgia. Nostalgia is gonna be fading away in the time of Jacob's trouble, man.
Tax time.
Yeah, tax time. Yeah, the Christmas days. Nobody ain't gonna be worried about that when the famine hit, bro. And that's what Yahawashi is bringing upon the planet Earth. That's what this Western society is needed, man. Niggas is soft here. You know, niggas are heavily emotional. You say something to a nigga, he'll get mad at you. Know, you turn around, you scared he might shoot you in the back, man. And the Lord's gonna get ready to do away with all that, like the brother just mentioned, by bringing that fire, man. Doing a spiritual reset upon the planet Earth so righteousness can be established, bro. You know, but again, all that shit is, all this BS that Esau doing, it was a process. You know, what you got? You got some on it?
Nah, you good.
Yeah, 36 and 6. Come. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 36 and verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand.
Now this broken system is broken on all levels, man. That broken system, this broken reed or this cane is supposed to uphold you. You know, supposed to have you straight and upright, but it's getting to a point when this system is breaking down little by little, gradually. We can see that Trump has signed over those tariffs. And again, with those tariffs being signed, the Dow Jones is being shorn. And with the Dow Jones being shorn, these other economies is bringing out their money out of the U.S., which ultimately is going to lead to the dollar falling, man.
That residual, he called it residual tariffs. Now, if they put tariffs against us, we're going to put tariffs against them. Well, it's always been tariffs, dude. But his tariffs are excessive to the point that he's been extremely greedy to the point that he's actually bringing forth prophecy where the beast shall hate the whore. You see? And what? Who's to foot these tariff bills? It ain't him. It's the everyday common day Joe six-pack American. That's who's gonna fit it. That's who's gonna fit it. You're the one that's paying, instead of paying $10 for eggs, now you're paying $30 for eggs. You see? Now you used to pay $5 for that bottle of Taka, or that $5 for that, you know, what's the cheapest liquor Jay can buy? Aristocrat, yeah, you paid $250 for Aristocrat. That's how it used to be. Now your ass finna pay $8 for a shitty ass bottle of Aristocrat. That's the United States tariffs for you. Everybody foots the bill. See?
If I may add, that's why it makes more understanding with the Revelation 3 and 10, the trouble that shall come upon all the world. Because this global currency is being threatened, man. That's what Yahawah is doing. You know?
You had any more on that?
It says, again, Isaiah 36 and 6, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed.
Because, hey, the water Yahawashi, these people voted for Trump. These people voted to get Trump in here, and now you have all of these farmers. Hey, these tariffs that you're putting on us, they're too great for us. We can't buy any seeds. We can't get any your DIE. We can't get anybody to work our fields. We're going broke here. It was by design, man, because you trusted in that weak staff, man. We should make America great again. He done moved away from that we should make America wealthy again, you see? So imagine when you put your hand on the staff, you put it on a ball like a scepter, all right? When you put your hand on that staff, it's to uphold your body weight on a particular side, all right? So when you push down and that reed gives away, it usually splits in a motion of this way or that way. Either way, your hand it was placed upon that scepter. So when that scepter breaks, it's gonna reach for the next stable thing. That's the broken part of the reed. That's the broken part of the scepter. See, it pierces you through. It pierces straight through your hand. That's what the Lord's saying, trusting on Esau and trusting in this society will do for you. And that's what's going on right here in America with Donald Trump. And first he was the end all be all to make America great. Now he's single-handedly destroying America and within the first 100 days of his presidency, of his second term as his presidency. Come on, man.
And then they talking about a third term for that nigga too.
Yeah, he's a dictator. If that happens, he's a dictator, man.
Yeah, you know, these niggas trying to slowly push forth a monarchy.
Yeah.
Basically, because they even talking about his son and Elon Musk's children. That's what they're trying to move to.
As in Rome.
Yeah, as in Rome. That's all this shit is. You got it, huh?
Come. Read in the NLT the back of what the brother was saying. This is Isaiah 36:6 in the NLT on Egypt. If you lean on Egypt, it will be like a reed that splinters beneath your weight and pierces your
You
hands.
see, that's the spirit. So you see that reed, it splinters. How? Because it was held this way, and when the reed breaks, it snaps. It snaps at the middle or the very towards the top of it. You see, where the weight is most heavy. You know that pressure. And when it snaps, what? Your hand grabs, it naturally grabs for that stability underneath it. What? It's gonna pierce you through. All right? That's gonna be the end all be all for this place, man. Because the Lord didn't set our rulership to be placed for it to pierce us through, man. We're supposed to have a steady, sure rulership. That's what that shows. His rulership was built with a wooden reed. Ours shall be built on a golden scepter.
Yeah.
How's metal breaking away from itself?
Yeah.
You gotta melt me.
That's spirit. They're like, for lack of better words, that mean that staff wasn't built correctly.
God.
You know, a staff really supposed to be, you know, you supposed to hit motherfuckers over the head and everything.
You do everything with that
As
thing,
soon as you
bro.
walk with it, that bitch break. That mean that bitch wasn't good from the beginning.
Yeah, it wasn't even.
You probably seen split scene and shit like that.
No.
Yeah, hallelujah. Yeah, in this spirit, hallelujah, which actually goes back into the Chaldeans. That's what this place leans on. The witchcraft, that left-handed energy, you got it.
Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, is completely unreliable.
It's a completely unreliable Trump.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everybody loved Trump for that first term. People like, he gave us stimulus checks and somehow Biden creeped in. But this time, people realize who this guy is, man.
Yeah.
Them broken promises that he promised to the Republicans, the broken promise that he promised to the people. Look at the position that we in now, man. And again, it's really Jake's fault because you continue to trust in a president who's going to put you in the worst position. You niggas ain't learned from Obama. You got it.
That was it.
Yeah, nigga from Trump. You got it.
This Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1, it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
It says they take counsel, but not of me. Because niggas are really hearkening to tarot cards now, man. It's niggas that's really trusting in their left-handed side now instead of trusting in Yahawashi. This word have always been here, but niggas always continue to look for alternative motives, man. You got it?
It says, but not of me, and that covered with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
And then adding sin to sin is you actually rebelling again like you did back in your past life. Because niggas doing this shit, it's nothing new, bro. For lack of better words, the Lord has brought you back in this time to play out your life in your perfection. You know, so you rejected the Lord a little bit in Egypt. You rejected the Lord a little bit back in the time of Moses. You rejected him a little bit back in David and all the way to Yahawashi. Now you're going to have a full rejection of the Lord, man. The reason why, because the world wasn't never for you, man. You rejected this truth. You rejected the words of living water. The Lord is going to reject you. You know, you got it.
It says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
And it says to walk to go down into the shadow of Egypt. You go into that word down basically to debase yourself, man. Because that's what niggas do. Niggas will debase themselves, sell out their integrity and everything that you believed in just so you can please the so-called white man or just so you can please your damn self, your flesh, man. You got it?
It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
It says, in the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. You know, because Yahawashi, he's really going to confuse these people because you think this place is going to prosper. You think it's going to continue on, but ultimately, it's going to lead into your detriment, man, especially for the 2/3 of our people, man.
It's beautiful you even said that because you was going into yard down, like going down. All right, it says go down into Egypt. It say go up. You see, like when it always speaks to Israel, it says go up. You see, it's an ascension, it's an elevation, it's an exaltation. But it says to go down into Egypt. So really, like what you're saying is Jake debase themselves, Jake degrade themselves through their degrees, through these philosophies, through these wines, through these feel goods, through these vibes. All of these all of these are rudiments to walk you further away from Yahawah Sham Yahawashi. It's not to bring you closer, to bring you into highness towards the Lord. It's to debase you, man. And that should be your shame, because what happens when you're thrown into a hole? Now anything that I throw down onto you, what? It creates a level of confusion. Like, think to the Lord when the Lord rained down upon us for the first time. How many individuals was confused as hell? Water coming down from the top. You know how to deal with that. You're confused because you're in the place, you're in a pit, you're in a hole. You see?
Hey, if I may add on that, because even confusion happens when you rebel against the Lord. That's what really happened, because the Lord, he's not a power of confusion. He's a power of straightforwardness, simplicity, knowing things that's really supposed to be. But once you start going against that, then you start to lose your way, for the lack of better words.
And all he's doing is raining down understanding. Understanding which is too high. It's too high for you to perceive. So hey, catch up to it. You know, can you pick up what I'm putting down? You know how Jake is. That slick talking ass Jake. It's like Lord and try to baby talk you. It's like Jake, and Jake want to do too much. Jake don't want to be patient. Jake don't want to, follow that way. Hey, the Lord will give it to you. But are you built to deal with it when he gives it to you? You know?
And that's why even the Lord compare Jacob's dead bodies, dead bones, because you can't speak to it. It's a miracle if you speak to a dead body, that motherfucker come back to life. You know what I'm saying? That's why that Ezekiel 37 chapter you just brought up, you said that valley earlier, that came into my mind. Baba Kashan, you got something else? Give me Psalms 88 and start at one. Just going back on the point you're saying, because it's too high for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the wills and what's going on in this different lanes, for the lack of better words. You got a 6-speed, you're gonna be in here. But you got a 4-cylinder. You know, you gotta be in this thing. That's why sometimes you do gotta spoon feed Jake. You know, chew it up in your mouth and put it in their mouth, for the lack of better words. What you got, huh?
This is Psalms chapter 88 and verse 1. And the heading is a petition to be saved from death.
It's a petition to be saved from death, man. Because the reason why the Lord compared us as dead bodies, because we're dead, we was dead from the head up. Or even when you go into the Babylonian captivity, Assyrian captivity, it was still the traces of us being Yahshua. This is a point that we was completely cut off from Yahawah Sham Yahawashi, man. It wasn't no post find, you know? Yeah.
O Lord, Yahawah Sham Yahawashi, power of my salvation. I have cried day and night before thee. Let my prayer come before thee. Incline thine ear unto my cry.
And he's basically crying in the midst of a valley of dry bones, man. You got it.
For my soul is full of trouble, and my life draweth nigh unto the grave.
And that's it, because he says our life is full of troubles, and now our life draweth nigh to the grave. We dying every day in fucking Babylon, man. And it got to a point, again, you go into the Babylonian, the Assyrian, it was still some traces now, but now we're completely cut off to the power. So now niggas are going wild. We have Sexy Reds, NBA Young Boys, Tyler Perry's, what's that nigga name, RuPaul's. And this is basically supposed to be the figure of Israel now, man. You got it. I'll read that again.
This is Psalms chapter 88 and verse 3. For my soul is full of trouble, and my life draweth nigh unto the grave. I am counted with them that go down into the pit.
I am counted with them that go down to the pit. You got it.
I am as a man that hath no strength.
Yeah, a man that have no strength. So we have to lean upon Yahawah Sham Yahawashi these days, man. You know? Especially once you down, you fainting away. You got it.
Free among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave.
And that's what the Lord is comparing us to, a dead body. And it's literally links up with Ezekiel 37 chapter. Bible you can hold that from us.
Yeah, I do have something back here.
You got it.
That's spirit I was giving it too. But this Psalms 82 and verse 6, it says, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. So yeah, just to back brother up, man. You know, Israel was once, you know, they was once of that high stature, you know, when they were joined into Yahawah Sham Yahawashi, you know, but then through their iniquity and their sins, they fallen, man. So now here it is. You see, it says, how as the gold is cast out utterly in the streets. You know, niggas die every day, man. You know, but that's because of what? Our iniquity, man. Us falling away from the Most High, man. You see?
You die every day, B.
Oh, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean?
That's it. That spirit, because Jake, a lot of Jake is just dead from the neck up, man. You can speak to him till they blue in the face, And they still won't get this knowledge, man. And this is why the Lord compare Israel as a whole into dead bodies, man. But it's always going to be a remedy that the Lord is going to bring up out of that, nonsense, man.
I love you, Jacob. That's what came to my mind.
Yeah, come
Say that where has thou loved us? Hey, Jake don't understand that the Heavenly Father love you. And it, by way of leaving a trail, breadcrumb trail, what you call it, breadcrumbs. Basically a way back to the Father through Yahawashi, man. That's love. That's mercy. He didn't have to do that, but he did.
That's gonna back you up real quick. The book of 2 Chronicles 36:15. It says, "And the Lord Yahawah power of their father sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place." So if I may, this is the reason why we are today, because the Lord has passion on his people, right? Because this word pertains to life. If you have to get it, walking into it, then your destiny is going to be life. But if not, it's going to be destruction. Proverbs 13:13. So we're not here to hate our people, but to love them by giving them full truth, to warn them from the dangers of Yahawah by Sham. But Jake doesn't see it like that.
Because that compassion that Yahawashi was moved with the brother speaking to, it said Yahawashi looked upon our people as children lost in a marketplace that has lost his parents. Imagine a child in an ancient world. You know how chaotic that was. That's worse than Times Squares in New York in the 90s. You know, that was crazy. So imagine Israel in the time of in a marketplace screaming out for his parent. And if the parent can't hear it, it's too loud, it's too chaotic. The Lord is looking at it like, damn, like you really need a protector. You really need somebody to look out for you. And he's that individual going throughout that crowd to reach his hand out, to guide you to exactly where you're supposed to be, to give you that comfort. That's the exact same spirit we're supposed to move in. Of course, when we first come out here, we're going to mimic, we're going to parrot the same spirits that were shown before us. But as we grow in this thing, man, we grow to understand, and we become our own men, and we grow to see it through the perception of Yahawashi, and we have that same compassion, man. Apostle Har is an overbearing individual. He's a compassionate man, in which his compassion is passed down unto us. Hey, 2 videos, 3 videos. This is the part of that God and giving us that comfort of Yahawashi, us being that child lost in that marketplace. Because the more he talks to, hey, do you know what color, do you know what shirt your mother, well, my mother had on this shirt. Well, what color did your father have on? He had on this shirt, he had on these shoes, he had on these pants. But as you're doing it, what? He's comforting you, and you remembering what was good for you. What? Slowly but surely, what? You find your way to your mother and father. And he was there the whole time. That's that compassion that he had to carry you through that way. We're supposed to be that same way, because at one point we were that child. Yeah. And look, we're going to do the same thing. You must be lost, huh? You know, I was lost. I used to be just like you, brother. You know, we say we get the same stories over and over and over. That's the compassion that we're supposed to have in this walk, right? But it's only towards those that are of a like-minded spirit of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, because only individual that you will have compassion on in that crowd will be crying. You ain't looking to help out that little kid that's around kicking everybody. 2/3 of our people are in the marketplace kicking people and trying to justify themselves. But the righteous, they crying, man. So they're thankful for that individual that heard out his cry. You may not be my mother, of course it's the Lord, but the Lord is going to guide you to the place that you're supposed to be, man. That's the compassion that the Lord was moved with, man, because he saw that of all of these people around him, of all of these kinsmen, even of the Israelites, no one had to care for this particular soul. You see, it ain't like this Israelite lost in a foreign land. He's lost in the marketplace amongst his own people, and no one takes regard of him. But the Lord took regard of us, man. That's the compassion that we got to be with, man. That's the mind that we got to have. But you got it.
A little bit more. Verse 16. So this is a result of people not really hearkening to the Lord's message, in which the prophets were always a snap to the people. Verse 16, 2 Chronicles 36:16. But they mocked the message of the Most High and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people. Until there was no remedy.
Just going back to what happened once we refused to hearken into that way, man. You bound to get kidnapped. You know, you bound to get taken away and get put to death. But Yahawashi have set up prophets for you to come back and give you that spiritual CPR. Again, comfort in the mind. You know, just going back into the Ezekiel 37, us being those lost people, those dead people missed in the valley. You know, once you're in the valley, the only thing you can do is look up. Look up for hope. Look up Jacob, not Jacob, Salaki, who was in the well, Joseph in the well and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it was Joseph. No, basically he's in the well. Once you in the well, for lack of better words, it ain't like you can, I'ma dig this way. No, you really looking up for a way out, man. And that's us spiritually in this valley, man. We're looking up towards the Yahawashi for that spiritual hand to come down so we can grab it, man. You know, but before we was at that point, we was dead. You know, you got something?
This is Ezekiel 37 and verse 1. And it says, the hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
Yes, which was full of bones. You got it.
And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry.
Yes, it says there were very many in the open valley, but lo, they were very dry. So when you look at Babylon, America, in this state, these people are dead bones, and their bones is very dry. Because why? They stupid as hell, man. Look at Sexy Red. Everybody know this brother is a CIA operative. And with the message that she pushed forth, that lazy, you know, this bitch had a line, a cosmetic line of STDs and things like that. For lack of better words, Jake's hearkening to that devil. Ultimately meaning that, read that again, but it ultimately meaning that Jake was wanting, they was dry. It wasn't no nourishment in their bones, man. You know, their bones was in fact with the Lord hope, or fact with the Lord understanding. You got it, bro.
Yeah, again, Ezekiel 37 and verse 2. And he caused me to pass them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley.
There were very many. That's where the 2/3 come in. That shall many that shall be destroyed, and those that shall be saved. You got it.
And lo, they were very dry.
Yeah, they was very dry. They didn't have this understanding. They didn't have this truth. You got it?
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
Can these bones live? Because we was once dry in these dead estates, man. You got it?
And I answered, O Lord, Yahawashi, thou knowest.
And that's a wise answer, because Ezekiel was like, you got it, Lord. Because he knew that it was going to take a miracle from Jake to be put out of that shucking and jiving spirit. You go into the 1940s and 1930s, the fear that Esau had upon our people. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord had created great men. One of those men, High Priest Abba, Elder Abba Bibbins, for the lack of better words, he created him so we can come back into him, so we can get that nourishment once again, man. You got it, bro.
Yep. And it says, verse 4, again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord.
Yeah, hear the word of the Lord. Come on.
Thus saith the Lord Yahawashi, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you.
Yeah, it says, I will cause breath to enter into you. You got it.
And ye shall live.
And ye shall live. Now, that breath is actually talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahawashi. You got it, huh?
I'm going to back you up. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 24. Wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passes and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High.
If I may, I can say she is the breath of the power of the Most High. And that's that spiritual CPR. You lost your breath, you drowned, you know, somebody choked you out, for lack of better words. The Lord spiritually breathed their breath back into us. You got a lot.
Yep, for she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty.
And if I may, I guess it's a pure influence, man. It ain't going to influence you to go into the way of Sexy Red. It's not going to influence you to rob a nigga, to commit adultery. No, it's going to influence you in righteousness, man. And that's what that breath of Yahawashi do. That's the same breath that the Lord breathed on Adam. You know, you got a lot.
Yep. It says, therefore can no defiled thing fall into her.
And therefore no defiled thing fall into her. So the breath that the Lord is breathing on us, ultimately is going to lead us into everlasting life, man. You know, and these are one of the things that we're hoping for the laws, statutes, commandments we put upon our inward part before all these things happen. It's a progress, man. The Lord must wake up the elect, the ones that was once in the dead state, and we was woken up. You know, that's why the scripture say, love others I have loved you. You know, you got it.
I got some for you real quick.
Titus 1:15, unto the pure, all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled. If I may, that pure is pretty much it's a precept. It's a precept from Wisdom of Solomon just read. Let's get this real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 7:25, but she is a breath with the power of the Most High and a pure influence, flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into it. So when you look at the minds of these people, their thoughts patterns, the way in which they worship the Most High is impure. If I subscribe to different philosophies, whether maybe Christianity, 5%, Islam, these are impure thoughts. And pretty much the pure is going to the words of the Most High. This is how you're made pure in spirit, by you believing on it. So going back to Titus 1:15, unto the pure, all things are pure, talking about the scriptures. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. Case in point, Alizé, what's the name of that group? Sakari, right? They don't believe in the reign of Paul. See, that's an example of you being unpure, okay? Or defiled. It says, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. So if you're defiled, you're not clean in spirit, man. So what's that going to lead you in the time of judgment? Those going to purge you out by the way of fire. See? So they profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny Him. See? But being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. So when you see these different Israelite camps coming up against the apostles, coming against the doctrine which we've been taught, that's an example of them being proud in spirit. Profess that they know the Most High, but in works they deny Him. They deny Him by denying the counsel. So if you do that, then by default you're denying the counsel of Yahawah Sham. All right, and your destination is going to be death, man.
That's what you brought up in 36 Chronicles, 36 and 16. That's the spirit.
Yeah, you got it right.
Hey, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7, and it says, "And the Lord Yahawashi Rawchaa formed man of the dust of the ground,
And it confuses you, you got it.
and breath into his nostrils." It says, this Genesis 2 and verse 7, it says, "And the Lord Yahawashi Rawchaa formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul."
And again, we was once dead in a dead state. We was once no different than those guys in those different Israelite camps. Brothers used to follow IUIC, ICBK, and these different camps, but the Lord breathed unto us the breath of life, the true doctrine. Again, starting off with our high priest elder Abba, for the lack of better words, before he came upon the scene, Jacob was still in that lost state. Even though they had a zeal, but they didn't have a zeal according to knowledge. Even though you did knew about the New Testament, once you introduce Yahawashi, that's when you really become whole, man. But you got a lot. Let me go back to the 37.
Yep, going back to Ezekiel 37, and I'll start at verse 4 again. It says, "Again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord."
Yes, it's, "O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord." You got it.
"Thus saith the Lord Yahawah unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live."
And that's what the prophets really set up for, man. For you to go back into a righteous understanding, or basically the instructions of life. You got it. Come. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 15. "And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding."
It says, "We shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." And those are nutrients that fatten the bones, man. That are nutrients that actually preserve you. Now that knowledge and understanding, it's talking about you an Israelite. It's talking about, don't commit adultery. But then also that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is talking about prophecy, man. Preparing you for the time of the end. Telling you not to take this, telling you what type of man you ought to be before the return of Yahawashi, man. That was on that time. You got it.
Yeah. And it says, going back to Ezekiel 37, verse 6, it says, "And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring upon flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you."
And that's it, because there's certain people that just put the skin on. You're an Israelite, just the identity. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
"And ye shall live,
And ye shall live. Come on.
and ye shall know that I am the Lord."
And because there's certain people, even though they got the skin and things like that, they still in the zombified state.
like you mentioned earlier, you know, being your own man, nigga believe anything that Nate say.
Yeah.
You know, that's you being the damn son. You got it.
So I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, it shaking. And the bones came together, bone to his bone.
And again, that's around during the late 1960s when Elder Albert Bivens came upon the scene. It was a shaking, man. For the lack of better words, shit started to get stirred up, and people really just started to return back into their power. Now again, before that time, even though it was a sense that we was Israelites, it was a lot of niggas that was just, not a lot of, you know, people that was just leaning towards the Old Testament, man. You know, but once Yahawashi got introduced, that changed the whole spectrum. You know,
that great shaking, and Esau called it, that was like the 1960s and the 70s, that was called the period of the Great Awakening of Esau, because a lot of these individuals, they didn't just do the norm of to go along, to get along, they actually started to question their society. That's where you get the hippie movements from, you get these so-called countercultures from. Was that great shaking and that the Lord was speaking of, with all of these things going on with Esau's counterculture and his counterculture. The Lord had the word through Abba Bivens come about too. With all of this, the civil rights, all of this coming on, whatever the word came about too, the word spring back out, the true understanding, man.
And that's why I say your own came together. Because even though a lot of shit was shaking, it was really the Abba Bivens that made everything come together, man.
Everything together.
You know, you got it.
This is,
Because just going back, he introduced Yahawashi.
this is the book of St. John, chapter 12, and verse 32. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me.
You got it. It says, if I be lifted up upon the earth, I will draw all men unto me. And that's when our Bivens lifted up Yahawashi and make the veins grow together, you know, make the bones grow together, man. For the lack of better words, because again, everybody lifted up the Old Testament, the laws, statutes, and commandments, which niggas still push to this day. But it was a separation. You know, the Lord told Abraham, be ye separate and I shall receive you. The Lord set up our Bivens to separate himself by introducing who? Yahawashi, man. You know? And that's when the bones really started to come together, man, when Yahawashi came from the scene. Because the Heavenly Father didn't say he was going to save us. He said he was going to send his son to save us, man. You know? With some more on that, bro?
On that, Ezekiel 37, and I'll start at verse 8. It says, and when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them.
And again, there's certain Israelite camps that's not pushing forth a certain doctrine. You know, that's pushing forth the doctrine of do as thou wilt, the doctrine of the flesh, and even the doctrine of just bringing a whole bunch of niggas in. Because I knew ISUBK, they had a big thing of having like a date service. You want to get a wife, you want to get this, but come on to ISUBK.
ISUBK.
Yeah,
man of the Lord.
Yeah, man of the Lord. You say they give you more meat than they give you fish, you know what I'm saying? But that's really not the right way, because ultimately that's going to bring in niggas, man. It tells us that even in Matthew 13th chapter, when he brought up everything upon the lake, and it was certain things that he had to throw back and certain things that he kept, man. You know, when you fish, a lot of things that you fish, you really throw back in the water. Because whether the fish is not too big or whether it's an unclean fish, you probably got a crab on there. You thought it was a fish, you reeled him in, it was a stick in the boat. You know what I'm saying? Those things piss you off. You know, but that's the same thing how it is in the truth. You know, Yahawashi, he's the ultimate parable, man. You know, but you gotta do it.
Yep, on that. It says, verse 9, it says, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind.
Prophesy unto the wind. So I don't give a fuck if nobody don't help me, man. You know, if nobody don't want to come into it. You know, for lack of better words, the Lord got me doing this, man.
7 videos, 0 views among 7 videos.
You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord says, as long as you get one. Brother just quoted that. As long as you get one view, the angels gonna rejoice, man. If one return back into righteousness, man, showing you how powerful this is.
Yeah.
You know, you got it.
And it says this, so like it says verse 9, it says, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, come from the full wind, O breath, and breathe upon these slain.
In the part of the Lord bringing this breath across the 4 winds nowadays is what the internet. We ain't physically gotta go through the 4 winds or go throughout the whole planet Earth. Because why? Yahawashi have already predestinated the system for this truth to get pushed forth. That's a reason why you ain't see me in Kenya. You ain't see none of these brothers in Kenya, man. You seen Ak in the video, Shalom. You seen, you know. Yeah. Kenya. Yeah. Go. You know what I'm saying? You ain't see brother get hit with mace. You know what I'm saying? Because why? The Lord estimated us to bring forth these 4 winds throughout the internet. That's going back into the St. Luke. The brother just pulled up. Once Yahawashi get lifted up, he's going to draw all men into it.
That's good order. That we ain't made it out to Kenya and the Dominican Republic. Brothers ain't taking cruise ships. That's order. The apostles laid it out. All they do is keep it simple. They show up on the weekends to teach, prophesy, and then they go home, and then they do more shows and prophesy. You ain't seen them on no flashy trips, expensive vacations, yachts, right? Foreign cars. You ain't never seen that. You ain't heard that. You ain't heard fresh new garments. They ain't pull up in the fresh new garments since you met the prophet. All right? So a lot of them had the same kicks on since they had been prophesying in the, who knows, 2010s, man. You ain't seen it. If you seen it, any idea, any distractions, you ain't seen it from the apostles. You ain't learning from the apostles. That's how the Lord wanted it to be done, man. That's how the prophets of old had it done. What the brothers just brought out, what's his name, John? Like John the Revelator, John the Baptist. And what was he likened unto? What did they say about him? You know, he said he had demons on him, right? Because he was in the wilderness, and eating locusts and wild honey. Basic, simple, but the message hit you. Right? It may be crazy to everybody else, but the message always is. That's all it come down to, the message. You going flying. What's the message? And where's the land where we supposed to be prophesying at? Yeah. And we go. We right here. And never left.
I got a quick one. This is chapter 2 and 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the table.
Hey, if I may add, that's what the hell was just going into, man. We making it plain, bro. So again, all those flashy garments, that's when you lack it. Just going back what you said, once you gotta do the most, that's when you lack it. It says once the cut, the knife, once you have to put more force into it, the dull is blade. But once it's shot, it just, you know what I'm saying? It just straight into the point.
A properly sharpened blade will cut easier than a dull blade.
Yeah. You gotta do the most with the dull blade. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta exert more force and everything.
More energy. It's an energy waste.
Yeah, I'll finish it. Habakkuk 2 and 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision. What is the vision? That's the understanding. Make it plain upon the table. That's the breakdown. Break it down plainly. Don't mystify it to Jake. Don't try to make Jake think you got to go through a 12-year course and pay $1,200 to get the understanding. Make it plain upon the tables that he may run that readeth it. Why? Because he understands. That's why he reigned. Oh shit, it's a fire on 13th Street. My grandmother lives on. Hey, now I'm running 13th. It's a fire. You see? That's what the Lord told us to do. Make it plain, man. Make it easy for them to get. That they can what? The information can be passed along, man.
Hey, once you made it easy, find a way to make it easy.
Easier. Yep.
Love others that have loved you. It was easy for you to receive this truth, so you got to make it easy for somebody else to receive.
Yep. Make it easy.
Freely given, freely received.
But that was it on that.
Hey, you got old guys. They whole program is to make money or find a way to make money off of this truth.
It's more to this. A lot.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, you got it. It's on you. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time.
Oh, if I may add, it's an appointed time. It's now. But like about words, the disciples back in the time Yahawashi without at this time restore again the kingdom of heaven, it wasn't time.
Yeah, they were looking for it.
Yeah, they were looking for it. You had to go through the dark ages. Imagine if Yahawashi would have told them, man, you gotta wait. Now they would probably have lost their faith. The Lord said, it ain't for your time to know. You know what I'm saying? Because even Yahawashi didn't know. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That's going back into order, understanding, just being patient.
Discipline.
Discipline.
And endurance. You gotta wait for it now. Yeah. As opposed to get it right away.
And you've been like Judas, you know? Not being impatient, trying to force the hand of the Lord.
Jump the gun and shit.
She your soul.
You just end up destroying yourself. That's what he did.
You know know what? All the prophets, or it's like all the apostles really had to deal with that patience, because even Peter and them, they wanted Yahawashi to kind of go right away. And when he would say things like, I gotta be killed, Son of Man gotta be crucified, and they buck up against that. That's where that he's saying, you know, Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. Because he was trying to buck up. They didn't understand that there was more waiting. That was the whole understanding, that they lacked more waiting.
Yeah.
All right?
More waiting.
More endurance, more patience. And that's always been the message. More patience.
Again.
Yeah, prophesy again. But then the scriptures say the Lord long suffering, because there's some that still have to come in. Yeah. So, you know, as you can see, the truth is still growing, it's still spreading. You can see that in certain view counts, right? I mean, a brother might have, like the elder from South Carolina, he might have 1,500, but the next time you see a video come back a month or whatever, it'll be 3,500. You say, oh, like the truth amongst the sincere is really, there's really more ears now listening, and it's nothing for 50K. It's nothing for the Lord to just have everybody tune in. Right? Hey, and it's nothing. But what it take is, for some people, it take like a disaster. Like with the brother from Hawaii. It take a disaster. All of a sudden, I promise you, I remember that day, bro. It was like 50,000. It was 50K on his live. Yeah. But most of his videos might have under 1,000. Where they came from. So even during the time of the famine and hearing the word, they said they're gonna go to and fro. Right at that moment, they went to and fro. So they're gonna find, you know. So it really, the Lord got such a spirit on brothers to be locked in, even when nothing's happening. It seemed like nothing going on, right? Might get one view, whatever. But the Lord got us locked in, man. Because when look at all it takes is something drastic, and they know exactly who you are. They know where your channel was. They was scoffing the whole time, but now they coming for answers. But the Lord said in that day, you're gonna send that, you know, you're gonna send them back, basically back to the world. Go to them that buy. I don't know nothing about it.
Like even Apostle High said, once the chip come out and things like that, don't come to me. We've been warning for years, bro. And even amongst COVID, and it's like the Crown 19 and things like that, it was people calling everybody can attest.
Right.
Say, yeah, it's right. Why is it possible? What happened when they everything over? You don't even hear from them. You know what I'm saying? For that person no more. So imagine once the EMP attacks happen. They ain't gonna have that trust to come. They gonna come to your, try to come to your house. You know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 boom. I know you got something. I know you. What you said about that, man? You know what I'm saying? Then people are gonna try to require. But that's what the elder just mentioned, it, bro. Sometimes you gotta get their belt. You know, BTA built their ass for you to get to understand. Even some of the elect is gonna have to get this. You know? And that's why you have a shot there. Certainly elect is to forgive them, for they know not what they do. They don't really know. Like, they don't really know what type of state their mind is in, because they lost. Esau fucking beat their ass so down, they don't really realize how bad it is in this society. Until Yahawashi wake them up into it, man, and diagnose them, you know? And he do that through us, through the Spirit.
Remember Down Thomas, man. Down Thomas saw Yahawashi turn the water. He saw all the miracles, the walking on the water. He saw the water to wine, raising of the dead, and he still died. People tell me he back alive. Like, after all of that, everybody else believed it. He didn't. Hey, you gonna have some of the elect. Like you said, hey, Jake on the Lord gonna have to put the ass for certain of the elect men to even keep.
That's it. And that's how you gonna have to earn your crown. That's how you gonna have to earn your crown. Baba Bashar, brother ain't got nothing. Get wisdom Solomon.
I'll finish that off too while they go. All right, this is back in Habakkuk. This is 2. Verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So that's just speaking to the prophecies, everything that the brothers is going into. Hey, these prophecies of Yahawah and Yahawashi should stand, man. So every warning that it may seem trivial or seem light unto you at that moment, hey, in the days to come, man, hey, it would it would be needful for you to take heed to the very sayings of the brother saying, because hey, it's a part of prophecies that's going to come. I said, but not terror. It's on its way. We're in the midst of it. But you got
It's the persecution. You know, it's a lot of things that's believing this truth, kind of half stepping them jab, and pump making. The Lord gonna make you shoot the ball, man, because the time is running out. You know, he ain't gonna be a point of you just saying, yeah, you an Israelite like the boy that recently died. I ain't even knew he was an Israelite and shit until brothers told me. But he was an Israelite for years until the Lord put his ass to death. So imagine how much more many guys are like that. Guys who are gonna get thrown in the concentration camp. Guys who watch your videos. Once you get in that motherfucker, they might cleave unto you. But it's probably, you know, they probably gonna have to work out their judgment, man, with the Lord. You know, but you got it though. Huh?
Yep. This is Solomon chapter 2 and verse 14. It say, he was made to approve our thoughts. He is grievous unto us even to behold.
Now this is the elites. He's really talking about the prophets, man. The men that out there on the highways and byways and speaking against this place. Because you gotta realize, man, we're righteous living in the midst of a wicked generation. So a lot of things that we say, and even a lot of ways how we carry ourselves, we offend a lot of wicked niggas, man. You could be in public just chilling. You got righteous food in here. You got unlimited bread and everything. And the cash she'll get an attitude at you just because you say, how you doing, sweetheart? You know, it's up to you to not. You stupid, you know. You just gotta take it on the chin. Because you know the scriptures. You knew they hated Yahawashi, so how much more is they gonna hate us in this generation? You know?
If it be possible, be at peace. Why would it say if it be possible? Why wouldn't it just say be at peace with all men? Why is it, you know, sometimes it ain't possible.
It ain't possible.
Why?
God.
I mean, and then the scripture tell you but go ahead, it's like it escaped.
Hey, that's the spirit though. Hey, you right, man.
Oh yeah, walk with wisdom towards them that are without. You know, it show you that we in a world of a lack of wisdom is probably this. You know how everybody getting symptoms or what you call it, diagnosis. Everybody want a diagnosis, right? You bipolar, you want a diagnosis. You know, you crazy, you want a diagnosis. You sick, you want a diagnosis. But America don't want this diagnosis. Well, we here to give it this diagnosis. And that's that, you know, people is evil shit. And the Lord do everything he can to allow us to refrain from being amongst you. And when we got to deal with you, we gotta be the ones that apply wisdom, because you're gonna be the ones without. 9 out of 10, your interactions every day is gonna be with somebody that lack more wisdom than you. That means you gotta apply the wisdom. So you got the burden of the conversation. You hold the burden. If you get in this situation, even amongst brothers will look at you crazy because you got in this situation. How'd you get in that situation? I understand this nigga. How you get here? But you wasn't applying wisdom. So now you got the burden. It always fall on you. Now you got to watch how you walk.
I got a quick precept just to add on to it. This is Sirach 10 and 18. It says, pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. I remember Brother Abahad went into it. The point is, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. All of us on this earth that walk born of a woman. But think to the elect men. Do they have a mother really? No, you have a father. So, as the elder was going into, your thought process has to be higher. It has to be greater. Every individual that we come into in life, as the brother's going into, is like they have lesser wills than you. So you calling yourself, hey king, hey God, you a God. Well, show your understanding. King Solomon showed his understanding. When do the Lord constantly gives us, puts us in situations to show our kingship, to show our godliness, to show our understanding. But a lot of us fail those moments because of what? Jake being their feelings, they being their thoughts, whatever it may be. The Lord is showing us, he is constantly telling us from situation to situation. I'm giving you examples and ways as to show how you move, how you're supposed to move as a God. That's why he says that fierce anger is not made for man that is born of a woman. The elect eventually get to understanding. Apostle Tahar ain't going to a lady that pushing. She can literally push this brother out of the way and stand in front of him at the grocery line. I'm pretty sure he ain't finna haul off a punch on the back of the head and get out. You know, that's him understanding. His demons on these people. I'm gonna let her have it. That ain't worth me even making this situation that I won't even be able to make it out the camp. That's an understanding of how we're supposed to be in this walk, man. Fierce anger is not made for men, but for the elect man that is judging according to the standard of the Lord, it is, because it's called indignation. What you got?
It's beautiful. Beautiful. You got some more there now? Because you're going back to what you were saying, because again, the Lord got us in a certain level of discipline, a certain level of role, because again, to be honest, we are better than these people. And what makes us better is will. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says, O kings, if you desire a kingdom, hearken to wills, and roughly paraphrase. You know what you got, right?
And going back to Solomon chapter 2 and verse 15, it says, he is grievous unto us even to behold, for his life is not like of the men's, his ways of another fashion.
And the reason why, because the way that we move, man, for lack of better words, our ways are of another fashion. We are totally separate from these people. So when you bump head with a lot of these people, you got to realize they got demons on them, and the demons is really put on them to provoke you. For you to get, it's a thing called getting out of character, man. That's really going on. You getting out of character, man. You know you're supposed to be a king. The characteristics of a king, for lack of better words, he's patient. You know what you got to do.
Yep, verse 16, it said, we are abstaining of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as filthy.
And that's talking about we're calling out the Amalekites to be false leaders, false children of the Lord. And it says, what? You got it?
He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed.
Yep.
And maketh his boast that the Most High, Yahawah, is his father.
Yes, and we claiming all these things of being righteous, man. You know, you got it.
Let us see if his words be true.
Now this is Esau trying to see if the words be true. You know, like I say, you say all this. You know what I'm saying? You talking and talking, but it's gonna get to a point when Jake is gonna have to walk the walk, and there's gonna be different levels into it. Jake is gonna be persecuted. We get persecuted on the Lord level. Again, a bride in public, she elbow you in the way. I'm in front of you. First thing you're gonna do, you're gonna have to step out of line and just go to another. Because again, we know what's ahead of us, man. While these people are living in the now. She rushing the cheap like a nigga the other day, he cut me off to get to a red light. You know what I'm saying? You rushing to get nowhere. Yeah. You know?
Now in your mind, it's something different. Right? You can think of all types of possibilities of what you actually supposed to do. So you gotta be a funnel. It's like a funnel. Out of all them thoughts and ideas that come to your head, the one that's supposed to come out should be the wisest one at any given time.
It's like the brother had something.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Hey, so we know how to move, man. And a serpent, he know when to strike, man. He ain't just going up just hitting everything, man. He know how to move, man. We got to be wise as serpents, just like Brother These people got demons on them, so you got to know how to move. And a dove, when we see trouble, he gonna fly away, he gonna get the fuck on. And that's how we should be, man.
Watch the end.
That's it.
And going back to Solomon chapter 2. And verse 17 again, let us see if his words be true. And let us prove what shall happen in the end of it.
It says, let us see if his words be true. And let's just see what happened to the end of it.
Yeah, I got a precept. Hey, I'm throwing it right back to you.
You got a lot. Come on.
This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. It says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. So we understand, hey, we pissed off over here. A woman can oppress you, a child can oppress you, bills can oppress you. There's many things that can oppress you on this side. But this is the point. It says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and it gives destroyed the heart. But when you go into that word oppression maketh the wise man wise, to go into wise is to shine. All right? So when you go into the word mad, it's like when you go into the word mad, it's not to make angry, it's to shine. Because the Lord has given us an understanding as to how to move. Okay, you understand that you're oppressed now. You see how that's heavy for him? Well, use these wheels. You put yours in the car. He gonna carry his on his back. We still been oppressed. I still gotta pull it. But how do I pull this oppression now? I'm wise. You see, he'll be able to shine. It's like, hey, I'm gonna put some wheels on mine next time. You see, now, hey, the bird is made light. But you got that's how the Lord is causing us in the day of Jacob's trouble. We're gonna have a different reaction because we've been taught how to react. These people are just gonna be reacting, and then if you don't know how to react, you're gonna get the wrong reaction. You're gonna get put to death in that thing, man. Because people are already on edge down here.
That's how the world's set up, man. It's trigger fingers, man.
Yeah.
That's why even down here it's an open carry. You know.
Going back to the book of Solomon, chapter 2, and verse 18. If the just man be the son of the Most High, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemy.
And that's why even that oppression, Esau, he's going to oppress us even to a higher level. But that's really is going to be a time for Yahawah to show forth these miracles, man. But before those miracles get shown, we must be put in certain dangerous situations, man. You know, it ain't gonna be no a lot of even IUIC shit. There ain't gonna be no cakewalking to the kingdom of heaven, man. It ain't gonna be no 7-year tribulation. It ain't gonna be a time that we're gonna have to, you know, everybody is gonna be catching hell. We're gonna be with the Lord. No, man. The elect is actually gonna be delivered from the tribulation, man. In the midst of the tribulation, at the height of it, man. When the missiles dropping and the chariots and everything, man. You know, and these are the times that we're waiting for. You know. What you got? You can read that again?
Yep, verse 18. I get it. For the just man be the son of the Most High, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture.
And that's it. He says, let us examine him with despitefulness and torture. And that's a part of Esau coming out having great rap, man. And we can see the beginning of that now, by the way, of this guy in YouTube videos, YouTube guidelines, but even this whole PC culture. You have to be politically correct. You know, you can't say the F word no more. You can't say the G. You can't even call a girl a dyke no more, man. You gotta call these guys men and women and non-binary, which shows you that this place is totally upside down. And really, we just find the uphill battle, man. You know?
The pronouns.
Yeah, the
pronouns.
The pronouns. You know, it's a I know a Brian that worked at me on the school. A nigga wore prom king, but he had heels on. Real talk. Nigga won prom king. Nigga had fucking like blue hair with fucking heels on, bro.
In Alabama.
In Alabama. That was foreign. That was foreign 10 years ago, man. But that's what happened when wickedness be established in the situation, bro. Shit can be changed drastically. That's why when you go into the law, it says you have to put that sin out of Israel immediately. Because soon as you let that wickedness brew, it's gonna grow greater and greater. That's how leaven is. When one level, when it's leaven grow, whether you cook a piece of bread or something like that, you could tell that leaven is in there because it's a damn bubble. You know, it started off this size, now it's 5 times bigger. Same thing with Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah, it didn't just start like that. It was just the city, and it fast forward into 5 great cities of wickedness. 5 great cities of wickedness, man. You know, and again, in the midst of that great city of wickedness, the Lord have a man named Lot that was in the midst of wickedness, and that's us. Bible Bashar brother can get Isaiah 54 and 19, he that departed from evil, making himself a prey. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about a prey, he's desirable amongst the predators, man. One thing about the prey, they're desirable amongst the people who's quote unquote over them, man, on the food chain. So, you know, for lack of better words, even though we are great men, it's predators like Moab over us, predators like an Ishmaelite, predators like a Edomite. You know, and in every chance and corners, they want to devour us, whether they devouring our pockets, or whether they devouring your women, or devouring your fucking community, man. Because even a lot of these Ishmaelites who be on these gas stations, niggas be, you know, selling dope out of them, man. You know? What you got, huh? Isaiah 59, 15.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, and verse 15. And it says, yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey.
Yes.
And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
Yeah, he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. You know, so soon as we say we're not of this world anymore, then it's a target on our back. You know, that's why going back into that wisdom psalm in the 2nd chapter, he is not like other men's. You know, his ways are of another fashion. That's the same thing that happened to Abraham. It's the same thing that happened to Lot. That's the same thing that happened to us in this day, man. So it's no surprise once people hate us and demonize us, because we don't go with this society. You know, a man dealing with a man is okay here, but we speak against it. As soon as we speak against that, now we're the bad guys upon the block. You know? You got it.
Yeah, I got one for you. This is Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
And that's why the scriptures make more sense. Surely you're turning the things upside down, man. Because now the woman is ruling over the man. The man, he's infested with estrogen. The woman is infested with testosterone. And totally, the roles is flipped upside down. You can see why confusion is being pushed forth, man. You know, you can see why the kids are more demonic. You know, you can see why the food is highly in chemicals and bullshit. Because why? Esau have flipped things backwards, man. You know?
Hey, you got a nigga head full of grades quoting happy wife, happy life, man. You know what I mean? Just to show you that everything is totally upside down here, man. You know, it's like you gotta
Like, you can see why all the balloons getting popped.
Oh yeah.
You got women with more facial hair than men now. That's like, it made me think when you was talking about women with high testosterone. There's women with facial hair now, man. You know, and they 20 years old. Hey, you used to see that. I used to see that on Big Mama there. You know, grandma used to have a little couple of snubs. This broad 22, and she got a goatee. Hey man, it's off, man. Society's just backwards, man.
It's like you got bitches calling each other bruh.
Bruh. And niggas calling each other's twins.
Or even big. You know,
Oh,
hey, what up, big?
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
Hey, Birmingham started that. I ain't gonna lie, Birmingham started that.
You got it.
No, that's
Okay, but just add to the process.
Well, you said it, the 11.
Oh.
How did it first start? Even with Eve, it started with them wearing pants. That was a big thing. And you had Jake just trying to, now boy, they all wearing that spirit. They all went, you know. But it started with a little leaven.
Just speaking to, when you really look at things being turned upside down, and they still push towards the standard of the Lord on the lower end. That a dyke bitch just want to be a nigga Jake, and a faggot nigga just want to be a nigga woman. Every dyke, whether I don't care what color she is, she want to be a nigga. She want to be a male. She want to be a nigga. She want to act like Black John Shaft. Every gay nigga want to act like Beyonce. Why, man? The salt of the earth. It's just sick, man. Sick.
And even then, when it come to Jake is out wicked. He make it look cool.
Yeah.
One
Salt
thing,
of the earth.
Yeah, salt of the earth. One thing was that guy named RuPaul. This guy was famous for years, man. They actually gave this nigga a show with plenty of seasons, man. With plenty of seasons to push forth his type of curriculum. Now imagine if you just a little kid. Every kid had cake. You 8 years old, and it's the first thing you see. Automatically, his mind is defiled, man.
Man, he came up off Flip Wilson.
Yeah, Flip Wilson.
RuPaul came up off him. You know, not the same guideline, so that produces, you know, that weak mentality. You know,
And then not Tyler Perry taking showing you how Esau, these are one of the weapons that white men use to basically put our people in that defiled and destructive state of mind. You know, it's a self-destructive state of mind. That's why the Lord told us to keep the heart with all diligence, because out of it is the issues of life. A part of you keeping your heart with all diligence is basically watching what you take in. Yeah, even though it's physically, you know, you run some alcohol, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and third, but even the shit that you watch, because your eyes are like cameras, man. And a lot of times, bro, like you mentioned earlier, when it comes to baby and kids, once they see something, the first thing they're gonna do is mimic it. Once you even once you see like a dude do like a bad basketball move, that's your first time see it, you're gonna try to mimic it. So imagine when Jake first seen wickedness, man, they mimic it and they basically exhausted it to a whole nother state. Now they got the flame of wickedness now, man. You know?
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out, man. You know, and the only thing they do is just track filth wherever you go. It gotta be a fire that cleans that garbage out, man. You know?
Appreciate it. Real quick. Malachi 3:18. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not.
And that's why our elder high priest Yahawashi said that, man, the Lord put us in this position so we can learn righteousness and wickedness, man. We have to learn both sides to be the perfect king. So even though we get offended at a lot of things sometimes they want to react at certain things in a certain way. We gotta let that shit be, so we can understand. Like, okay, in the kingdom, once this happens, you know, you can see, you know the judgments to make everything all right, man. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about it. But going back into this, Jake being wicked, instead of them discerning the Lord, Yahawashi, the way of righteousness, being the right way, you know, being the way of righteousness, niggas to get mad over polygamy. You know, something small as that. But a woman having multiple men, they okay with it. She just having fun, man. Showing you the things they do in this society to demonize righteousness, man.
The book of Psalm 94:16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
And if I may, because it's a lot of niggas that just sit back being cool with wickedness being pushed forth, man. Even a lot of these people that's in the so-called Baptist church and things like that, they continue to let wickedness continue to grow like that leaven instead of checking it at the door. That's why the Lord said, who is going to do this for me? Because a lot of niggas said they was going to do it and never did it. You know, they say they're a warrior of the Lord, but you got a mow in there and you don't rebuke him at the gates, man. Yeah. You know, you say you believe in the Yahawashi, but you don't believe in the reigns of Paul, man. You know, that's not you stand up against the evildoers. That's you really doing the work of the evildoers, man. And the Lord's going to get ready to do away with a lot of this shit, bro. You know?
This is Matthew 19:30. For many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You heard the brother just going into that. In a society where you deny wickedness and evil, but you last. When you go ahead and apply wickedness and evil, but you first. So it's going to be a flip. Be ready and commissioned. Calling back is that we have enough patience to deal with being last so that we can be first. We can be amongst the first. So that you're going, you know, when situations come to pass, like your patience is tested, you gotta deal with it accordingly. You gotta be able to go through this walk, carry that cross. You gotta be able to apply these scriptures when it's time. Right? You go from opening them and knowing them to applying them. And you're going to be last. You got to deal with that. That's a part of it. You're going to be looked at like last. You're going to be felt or talked to like last. Treated like last. Only so you can be first in that next time. And you got to get ready for the next go around, man. This place is already at the end of this shit. You want to join the ranks now with the people who's great now at the end. They about to receive the mark.
They let everybody hit.
It's over, yeah. Anybody can get a hit. Come on, man. It's like the perfect analogy, that woman, she done been ran through, but you want to show her so much love and everything like that. Only thing you're supposed to do with the whore is just hit it and quit it, but you want to embrace her, show her love. America don't care how much love you try to show her, how much you care about this time we living in right now. You know, I got everything set up, the kids, the house, the this, that, and the third, or whatever, college, education, you got everything. Whatever you're going through, if you think that you put over what you got going on versus what the Lord about to have in store for us, then you bugging, you tripping. You want to be last. Now you want to be last so that you can get that first in the kingdom. When it's fresh, when it's new, you're the first that gets to hit it. And on, it's fresh now. You want that. Got it.
Got something for you, back you up. It's the book of St. Luke 14 and verse 11. For whosoever exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbled himself shall be exalted.
We need to come down to the simple ideals, the value of humility. The value and the concept of humility, and how we engage in that in a world that tells you, leave that alone, man. What you mean? Too humble. That's a saying in this world, too humble. Yeah, they're too humble. And they mean it. They don't mean it how we mean it. They mean it where, you know, you're supposed to boss up everywhere, all the time. You the boss, all the time. You're supposed to stand on business every time. You're not using wisdom. You just direct it like a beam, like Cyclops, just beaming his light everywhere. You're using all force in every situation. Nah, man, you learn how to deal delicately with tact, discipline. You hold back, you refrain in moments. Then you know how to exert in certain moments. It's a proper play. It's like watching a great receiver, a great shooting guard. It ain't always hard dribble straight to the basket. Sometimes they backstep into it. They cross over, a little bit of that, a little head, fake, spin around. You finesse this thing. So what the Lord gives you is things that the world finds is weak, but we see that strength. Humility is strength. Look how much strength it takes to be humble in a world full of proud people. Who will try to entice you to go ahead and be humble again. One more time.
This is the book of Luke 14.
So you gotta again deny in this world in many ways. Again, another form of denying them is remembering to remain humble. You gotta
Luke 14, verse 11. For whosoever exalted himself shall be abased.
I mean, in simple form, you put yourself out there, you're gonna get cut down from the bottom, from the legs, and that means the fall is gonna be high. They got a saying, the bigger they come, the harder they fall, man. So you don't wanna be amongst that, man. Just stay at the ground, stay at base level. The King David, what he say? I'd rather be a doorkeeper. Sometimes you gotta just reflect on that, man. The king is talking like that. The king, what did he know that we can't apply in this time?
That was a beautiful low state of mind. What King David said. He said, I'd rather be a doorman. How many people who take pictures of the doorman? Nobody really takes a picture of the doorman unless you catch the man at the door. The scripture said, exalt not thyself. And read that back from the top.
It says, for whosoever exalted himself shall be abased.
Alizé, he exalted himself to a point that the Lord abased him. But who taught him to exalt himself? His mother, his constituents, even within his camp. Because one thing I noticed, you don't see the apostle outside of just the Saturday camps and the live lessons. You don't see Instagram pictures, no any other platforms of the apostles and the elders being exalted or them exalting themselves. Everybody in this society take pictures of themselves, constantly showing off videos or something, their children of themselves. Everybody's in a state of exalting themselves. Men out here, I'm pretty sure I don't really see brothers online like that.
That's how they followed the world. They didn't follow after the order. The order was the order. Sometimes the order don't gotta be told; it can be observed.
Exactly. Beautiful.
Yeah. So the apostles didn't have to make that lesson. You see it. And even amongst the NYK, it was an order at some point in time not to be online. And then it kind of eased up at some, it was an order that actually went out where, brothers was not to deal with Facebook. And as you can see it increased brothers studying, learning. Anytime you withdraw from the world, man, you benefit in this truth. You don't want to benefit in the world. Yeah, if you measure the world, did I benefit from coming in this truth with my finances? Maybe not. Did I benefit in this truth because with my woman situation? Maybe not. Could you benefit this truth as far as being aligned with what the Heavenly Father wants you to do so that you can receive salvation and get the fuck up out here on a ship while everybody else burning alive? That's when you benefit.
Yeah. If you got that one restful night of sleep when you first believed, I'm an Israelite. That was the best night of sleep I had. Going to sleep like knowing, the Heavenly Father watching me looking down on me. I know you got me, whether I live or die. Hey, you deserve, you owe the Lord something for that restful nights of sleep. That one restful night of sleep, according to you believing on, you owe the Lord something for that, man. But that's peace, man.
That's a good way to look at it.
I owe the Lord something. That was a peaceful night of sleep I had.
Hey, Babylon can't give you that part of sleep. Because a lot of these people, and the truth of the matter is they suffering, and they'll never let you know.
Insomnia.
They can't sleep. They messed up. You're right. They locked into this world, but they really drugged up, messed up. They mad. They insane. They really, burning inside. People be jumping. Huh? Right. It's like,
They got a void. They're trying to feel.
That's it.
yeah, it's some restlessness of anything. That's what being awake at night is. It's kicking, you turning, but you're restless. Your body wants something. It desiring, it's craving something. Think about being just letting your spirit do whatever it wants in a Babylon. Whatever it wants. Like, whatever that. Think about applying do without will in Babylon. You gonna walk away with diseases. struggles, debt, right? You're gonna get killed. Babylon is not a safe place at all. So you really got to be restrained.
The valley of death.
Valley of death. So I can bring that up. Yeah, there.
I got something for you real quick. Book of Galatians chapter 5, starting verse 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another and envying one another.
Yep, one more time. Select.
Yep. Top verse 25, Galatians 5 and 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit.
Let us live in the Spirit and walk in the Spirit. All right. You engage in the Spirit go back to breath, life, everlasting life, that which produces salvation. Right. There's a scripture that talk about enlightening. We have a saving knowledge. This is different.
Quicken.
Yeah, quickens you, wakes you up. Matter of fact, somebody grab Thessalonians 5. All right, so we want to be quickened and awakened. So what? Everlasting life. How to get it? How to receive it? Why? Because we understand ages now. Somebody grab Ecclesiastes 3. We understand ages now. This is a different realm of understanding, and you can't apply the same old wisdom. You have to get new wisdom. You have to be born again. You have to be like a new bottle that won't burst with this new form of wisdom. So you got to be changed. You can't conform to the world. You got to turn away from that lifestyle so that you can obtain the things that you're trying to get. When you learn about salvation, you're supposed to want it now. It ain't good enough to hear about it. Yeah, some of them elect gonna be saved. That's good for them. Yeah. And then you go back into the world. No, you want some of that now. You want in on it. The Lord trying to share that with us. This is mercy and a blessing for us to be back here. Be acknowledging that. Like the brother just said, good night to sleep. Right? The world hates you, but you sleep good. You sleep better. Just that alone. You can look yourself in the mirror and, humbly still. You feel like, all right, you're doing the right thing. You're saying the right thing.
I tried.
You passed the test. Yep. You got the name. Go ahead, I'll put it out.
Galatians 5 and 26. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another and envying one another.
Matter of fact, somebody grab real quick Revelation. Was it 2 and 9? Vain glory. The things that you damn sure not supposed to be chasing ain't going to give you no satisfaction. It's going to be temporary. The scripture talk about an eternal crown, eternal rulership, eternal kingdom, eternal reign, eternal authority. Eternal. You got to associate yourself in your life with eternal choices rather than temporal choices. Vanity, that's you see yourself looking good and great for a minute, and let's say the emperor got no clothes, you're walking around naked. You should be ashamed of yourself, half these people. But vanity is
Revelation 2 and verse 9, I know thou works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Yeah, you got poverty right now. Yeah, you suffering. Yeah, you dealing with real life situations. All right, people trying to be carnal, get you back into that old man. You enticed, right? You enticed to sin. You enticed with these temptations, but you have to persevere, man. You have to endure. You have to go through. You have to deal with the burden. You have to carry that cross, right? And it says we know poverty ain't nothing new. Heavenly Father knows exactly what you're going through. Bank cards, credit cards, debt, whatever. Right? You owe some shit right now. You don't know how you're going to pay. But the poverty that you're dealing with, the Lord already acknowledged that. I know that poverty and your tribulation, so you're dealing with trouble too. Right? On top of your bills, you got trouble. Trouble in the flesh, all right? Trouble here and there, right? As far as your eye can see, it's trouble. But the scriptures say, man that was born, it's a few days and full of trouble. So that's really, it was already told to us what we was going to be dealing with in Babylon, all right? This is part of existence until Yahawashi come and change everything. You're going to have a new body. What kind of trouble you going in a new body? So engage in that. Engage in what the Spirit trying to lead you to everlasting life. Always the Spirit always trying to walk you back into everlasting life. It can be help to be converted into being
That's it.
rather than being sick. Right? Like the brother just mentioned, you got a void you're trying to fill. That's you at home. I ain't even going.
It says, but thou art rich. And I know the
All right, but thou art rich. You know your poverty, all this tribulation you dealing with. You rich.
Full of hope.
All right, yeah, you full of hope. You had the knowledge of the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And you had that. All right, you had that which kings searched after and couldn't find. You had these things accessible to you all the time, locked into your mind. You still in this truth. You still acknowledge Yahawashi as the supreme dictator, all right, the supreme heavenly Father and Son in that authority. And eventually, every knee gonna bow to that. So where's that place you? That place you ahead of the curve, ahead of the crowd, ahead. You're just so far ahead that you're dealing with in an adverse way. So the people really push you and hurt you and try to maim you and kill you because that brute beast. That's what they do to things they don't understand. The analogy that Elder Ram always uses: a dog always gonna bark at the mailman. That's the mailman. We need the mail. But the dog don't understand that. He's hasty, indecisive. He don't got thought. He don't got reason. So you can't be as an animal. You gotta be like a mature, a man of the Lord who understands destiny. These people on the sign is destined for to be restored as a people, as a nation. But only elect, the 1/3 is destined for salvation. Destiny, right? You ain't gonna fight against your own destiny if you're destined to wear crowns. The Lord said He's coming back to give us crowns. You got it.
going back. Revelation 2 and verse 9, it says, I know thy works and tribulation is robbery, but thou art rich.
Rich, man. Rich. You're filthy rich. All right? You got money to dispose of. You got wealth and nothing but time to apply. All right? You got unlimited amounts of wealth and nothing but unlimited amounts of time to examine all you got. Because it takes an everlasting kingdom to be able to live as one with the Lord. That's what rich. Because they set up an eternity for you to be rich. Whereas in the Babylon, America, how long are you going to be rich? How long you think you got to be rich here? Short. Alright? This is a baby kingdom. This is the virgin daughter of Babylon. It's a daughter. Right? But authentic, real. Right? And the beast the Lord sits on is going to be in part with the destruction of this place, Babylon. So even she can't even see her fault. No wonder why all these people don't recognize the signs, man. It takes for the president to say World War III is around the corner, and the people still don't. They still partying like it's 1999. They don't believe it. They don't believe it. Well, it takes the Lord's men to consider. We are rich through this knowledge, through these scriptures, right? Okay. Go ahead.
James 2, verse 5.
That's very.
It says, hearken, my beloved brother, have not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich and faithful, and heirs of the kingdom which He hath promised to them that love.
Okay, so you gotta love the setup that Yahawashi gave us. Poor in this world, but rich in faith, man. Now, somebody grab Hebrews 11 and 1.
Yeah.
And then jump to verse 6. Go ahead, El.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 2. And it says, for all those things have my hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word.
And the Lord gets at any man that wants to put his wealth above your spirit, above your soul, man. In the scriptures, Yahawashi said, what hath a man to gain, from gaining the whole world but losing his soul? There's significance to your soul. Matter of fact, the Lord dealt and told us that we are His prized possessions, His first fruits. Alright, so you really messed up when the Lord sees you higher than you see yourself. It should be equal. And again, He puts us on a platform. And as long as we endure and continue, we could be a part of the elect. And the elect are pedestalized. The elect are cemented in the governing body to rule in the kingdom of heaven. Along as joint heirs with Yahawashi, the elect have this very significant, important roles, just like priests had important roles. They was elevated above, right above the average man. All right, and so the status of the elect, the ones who endure, is going to be elevated. But at this moment in time, it's not showing that. What shows is your spirit from within. And the Lord wants you to do that examination, that self-reflection. He wants you to give you a new time to do it. He's giving you precepts to do it. Muster up enough, pause pretty much to examine yourself daily, man. And acknowledging when you're going off, you ain't right. One more time,
Yep. Yeah, going back, Isaiah 66 and verse 2. And it says, for all these things have my hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word.
All them other things don't impress Yahawashi. He created it. Imagine trying to go to the Lord. That's why he said, look, I care nothing more about your feast days and your sacrifices. No good, man. Matter of fact, it's become a smell in my presence. How's it go?
Stink.
A stink, man. I don't even, when I smell y'all sacrifice, I don't even want it, because I know that the spirit that did it, the spirit that did it so damn wicked, and he think that you good now. You treated this, turned it into a mockery of my grace, of my mercy. You turned my mercy into a stage of buffoons, man. Because now you can commit into this idea that you can just, all I gotta do is just sacrifice shit. I'm gonna do it anyway. That's the do it thou wilt spirit covered in fringes, man. You got that word?
God. This is the word, simple Google definition for the word contrite. Feeling or expressing remorse or repentance.
Repentance, feeling, and expressing remorse. Again, this the what Yahawashi said, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We're supposed to be acknowledging and getting ready by showing the Lord that, we know exactly where we went off. We're not going to cap, lie about it. The whole society want to lie about and not keep it real. We understand we got to keep it real. If you don't keep it real with nobody, we got to keep it real with Yahawashi and his elect. All right, again, the word contrite.
Feeling or expressing remorse or repentance affected by guilt.
All right, so take yourself down a notch, Understand that where you stand in the eyes of the Lord is that you need salvation. The only way you can get it is if the Lord allows Yahawashi blood to cover you. Because of your own righteousness, you lose. You lost that battle a long time ago. Your own accord, your own works, you lose that battle. There's many who believe that they Israelites, but they're going to lose the battle to their own pride. And they're going to lose it to their own arrogance, because they've never submitted to Yahawashi. And this time of calling, this time is for Yahawashi, this time is for you to have that reflection time to get closer to Yahawashi. And it's a cleansing process. When you are apologetically contrite, you come to the Lord about that, and he what's the word? He forgives you of that, right? You're qualified now for forgiveness. So now you can come clean to Yahawashi when he returns. It's all about the cleaning up process. Matter of fact, the word say, wash me and make me clean. Oh, you holding it? Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 16. And it says, wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes, cease to do evil.
That's what the world do. They don't acknowledge their sins. They just go ahead and do it, and then as long as another day comes for them to do it, they're going to do it again. And that's Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Was it 8 and 11? 11 and 8. Somebody hold that real quick.
Discourages.
Again, somebody can.
Yep, it says, again, Isaiah 1 and 16, and it says, wash you, make you clean.
That's how you escape. The world going to filthy up. Alright? And you get the dirty out the head into the marriage. The ceremony where you go shop. You got to be cleaned up, white robes. Alright? So acknowledge that. There's certain things you shouldn't do, certain things you shouldn't say, certain things you shouldn't even exhaust your energy and involve yourself with. Matter of fact, go the opposite way. There's another way. Take a detour. Learn the art of detour. Detour the hell up out of that situation. And get around it, man. Go ahead.
It says, wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings before my eyes, cease to do evil.
Hey, that's what the evil's going to do. It's going to make you dirty. And the Lord don't want you to do that. He didn't call you back for you to be remain like that. So there's a change that happens, and it continues to happen. We are like men. This is likened unto a fire of our affliction. Through our afflictions, we are on fire and melting, where the pure impurities is separating from the purity, and the impurities get separated. So the more hardships you go through, the better off product comes out of that fire, if you can endure through it, if you maintain through it. So that's why I understand you're gonna get challenged every day. We are in the midst of the fire. We're in the midst of Babylon. That lets you know what time it is. Are we saved? No. So you gotta go through this, getting clean and washed up face, and then continue to go through. This the marriage. Every speck gotta be taken care of. Go ahead, Al.
It says, learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless.
Hey, the way you relieve the oppressed is right here through this teaching, through this word. Man. All right, the oppressed they got heavy conscience on them about trying to be liked by the world. They don't need that. They don't need to think like that. The oppressed have a consciousness of trying to be the best family man. They don't need to think like that. Yahawashi gonna take care of that. You know, the oppressed is thinking like, I ain't got enough money to really fit into this, or look how they gonna look at me with my beard, or the oppressed don't need to think like that, man. The oppressed need to be what's the word when you free somebody? There's a different word. Basically, free, long story,
Emancipated.
Emancipated.
Liberated. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, liberated. Liberated. This is a liberation time, man, for the elect, man. So they can get out of this way of thinking that's clouding the real benefit to having this truth. So that you could know what you're doing wrong and walk away from it. You can actually step away from it after you send up them prayers for forgiveness. You can actually now step away from it. You're aware, right? Let him finish that definition real quick. Now, send it. Contrite. Go ahead.
It says a broken and contrite heart, and these are some synonyms, in sackcloth and ashes.
Hey, what matter of fact, Ecclesiastes, I think it's 7. It's better to be in the house of mourning than the house of mirth. Right? Now, Matt, that's heavy. The Spirit had me thinking about that all day this morning. Because they got this idea that you can't be sad or you can't be depressed. Now, the world's version is different than our version. We are the elect constantly depressed. Lot was vexed. A vexation is gonna throw you off. If you think you're gonna be the perfect citizen in Babylon, and you thinking about how wicked or evil this place is at the same time, they don't mix. So you either gonna continue to think this place is wicked, which it is, and you're right, but that means you're gonna act different. That means eventually, that's gonna give you an austere motherfucking look, man. Eventually, you're not gonna laugh at them jokes no more that they tell them. Eventually, you don't wanna hear no more of that shit.
Yeah.
Eventually, your fitting in ways start to deteriorate. You know what I'm saying? Because your walk different.
Yeah.
Straight and narrow. Right?
I know me and the brother always say, me and the brother Albert ride back from camp. Brothers gonna talk about the hell you catch. There's only 2 people that exist in this society. It's D&D. Either you delusional or you're depressed. And only the men of the Lord are really depressed. Everybody else is just delusional as hell. You thought smoking weed was gonna help. You thought drinking was gonna help. You thought a woman was gonna help. You thought that degree was gonna help. You're just delusional because you obtain these things and yet you're still depressed. Me, I'm just depressed because I understand that I'm in my hell. I'm going through my judgment. So we're in the house of mourning. It's better to be in the house of mourning because now we have things to look forward to. These people have nothing to look forward to, man. These people are delusionally depressed. But we're just depressed, man. But these people are delusional at this point, man.
If I may add, that's
Yeah.
why even Yahawashi said he was a man acquainted with Greeks. Because he knew what he had to do upon the planet Earth. He knew when he came upon the planet Earth, he had to die. He knew he was going to rule. Under the damn Romans, it's similar to the shit that we on now, man.
And then the scripts say, think about Yahawashi when you go through your temptation. Somebody who who had to deal with the
He was acquainted with Greek.
no, he had to deal with the contradictions of sinners.
Oh,
Yeah. So he had to deal with these people talking shit
Yeah.
the entire time, and he knew he was the Messiah. And then he knew them people was gonna be the reason why he had to be killed. Imagine, you know what I mean? That's a heavy.
That's
shit,
irksome.
man.
That's irksome.
Yeah,
That's
irksome.
elevation.
Right. So so you already know when they say he coming back like a lion. You already know. You already know, man.
Yeah.
You know what that means. He had to suffer through that, man. To like tell him in his face, man. You got demons on you, and he was the Messiah. Right? Or setting them up. He can hear them, hear their thoughts, how they coming and pretending to him, but they really was trying to kill him.
What is cool? Yeah.
I mean, Halalyam, when he comes back, man, he going. Man, it's gonna be so much. It's gonna be so intense with the amount of slaughtering that going on and destruction. And he coming back all powerful with the host of angels with him. It's not gonna be fair at all for Esau. It's gonna look like a hyena, you know what I'm saying, versus a cat, a pit bull versus a baby.
Yeah.
He's just gonna slaughter him
Yeah.
because he got that, and he got that on his mind.
Yeah.
Fresh. So we that's another reason why we can, at the end of the day, we can reason and say like, well, we don't want no parts of that either.
At all.
What's that dude said? You want some of this too, old man?
No.
No. We know in that situation. No. When we see how y'all did Yahawashi, well, I brought this, we the elect, and when we see how y'all deal with Yahawashi, well, we know he coming back with great vengeance, fierce anger.
If I may just back you up on that point, one verse is Isaiah 47:3. It says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man."
I will not meet thee as a man. And the way he taking vengeance. So now we got to incorporate that. And the world don't know nothing about no vengeance, man. They like some all-forgiving freaks. They weird. That's weird, man. Nothing, no vengeance. Somebody came in your mama's house, kicked her, all right, beat her down, stole something, and then you see him the next day, and he said, look, bro, I was tripping. I'm sorry. That's not good enough, man. Now, you got to get this back, that back. You got to requite things. Equity is in the scriptures. Justice is in the scriptures. If we had no idea about it, then we could say, yeah, sure, Esau, you all right. As long as you don't do it again. No, but equity exists. Justice exists, man. So that man got to be put down. And the Lord said he's going to come back like a lion this time. So it's going to be way more fit. We want to be a part of it because we share that similar energy. We see it now. Yahawashi was did dirty.
Okay.
Got
To back you up, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Yeah, you want to get back those that put you in persecution, put trouble on you. You want to get that, and you want it hastily too. You don't want to have to wait. That's what makes our heart sick. That's where the real, depression or anxiety and all that come from. We really want to launch at you Edomites, man. Right? A thumbnail, just a brother.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
right.
Jake.
Beat up. Yeah.
So
You see the Jake that jumped over?
Yeah, no, I was looking at Judge.
Yeah. He cleared the
Yeah, he cleared that motherfucker.
And that's up there too.
It probably ain't
Nah,
ain't probably played no sports coming up.
I gotta check his lineage, man. He might have had. I might be the spiritual power, man. He kicked in the overdrive, but that's the type of energy that we can connect with Yahawashi, man. When he come back, man, completely just wrecking, like a wrecking ball. And Babylon needs it. There ain't gonna be nobody, because the scriptures tell you that everybody gonna have to give an account for what they did in their works. It's an account. So it's actually gonna be equal to what you did. If you was a scoffer, it's gonna be equal to that. What you got?
Got some real quick. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 16 and 11. If there be one stiff-necked among the people, it is marvel if he escape unpunished. For mercy and wrath are with him. He is mightily forgive and to pour out displeasure. Break it down. If I just may add to your point, you're going to get everything you sow. You're going to reap everything that you push forth. And what did this guy push forth throughout the whole planet Earth? Destruction, wrath, and death, man. You know, and for lack of better words, this guy, he thought he got away through the way of the Renaissance, through the way of this guy changing history. But the Lord basically is going to pull up your tab, man. You know, Yahawashi is really just going to call you back on the actions that you did in your past life, man. And it's well deserved at the end of the day.
You know, I got something for you real quick. Back book, Colossians 3:25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive the wrong which he have done. There is no respect of persons.
And the Lord, he don't care who you is, Yahawashi is going to judge you. A perfect example, Eli. Eli brought up Samuel. Eli taught Samuel the ways of the righteous. But just because Eli had to respect the persons, he respected his sons more than the will of the Lord broke his neck, man. Now, does that mean, is there any unrighteousness with Yahawashi? No, man. The Lord just said, if you do evil, you're going to get it back, man. Even the evil that we done. You know, that's why we're in slavery and captivity today. That's why we are a nation that's acquainted with griefs, man. Because we the one that put the Lord through the BS, man. Yeah. You know? That was it on this.
Anybody holding anything?
I got this Ecclesiastes.
Hey, but even in you saying that, no one can really resonate with the grief, the amount of grief that we're acquainted with. That's why everybody downplay. They speak lawfully of it. Yeah. Because the Lord ain't putting these seasons through what he putting us through, man. We feel it over and over daily, you know? To a point, it's like, after catching so much hell, you gotta consider Yahawashi sound like, God damn, Jake, like, Jake is a stiff-necked people. Yeah. Like, after all this, if you go into our history from Esau, I'm just talking about from the history that Esau give you from the slave ship forward, you just been catching hell. It's like, bro, I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna just look towards the Lord at this point, man. It's like nobody understands. The more we cry out, the less they hear us. It's like, shit, I gotta go tell the Lord on you, man. That's it. That's what it done got to. That's the point it done got to.
Hey, you know what? That's a baby who realizes, an infant, a child, toddler, who realizes that Brian ain't gonna have nobody pick him up. You know, or he noticed, the moment he noticed, you as a child noticed that you crying ain't gonna make your parents come over here and brush your knee off what's wrong. They ain't gonna baby you. Right? Now the crying stops, and then the next level is realizing, damn, whatever we got, we actually deserve it. So there it is now, we suffering equal. Again, there go that equality and that justice system that the Heavenly Father, look, we here because the Lord carry out justice. And therefore, with Jeremiah 49:12, we are actually here in this condition because the Lord carries out justice. So now we owe it to the Lord only to cry to Him, right? When we do cry, it's going to be only to Yahawah, who's really capable of changing our situation instead of to Esau in the world. You got it.
Because it's Jeremiah 49:12, it says, "For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup, have surely drunk it. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished?"
All right. So when you break it down, it's they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup. Now the cup symbolizes what? Captivity, slavery, judgments from on high, the wrath of the Lord. Even in the book of Revelations, don't it deal with when you deal with the MOTB when you take it in chapter 14? Somebody grab that real quick. Talks about drink. That mixture. What is this whole idea that you getting drink? You have to drink something. Well, that's what it's likened to. The Lord actually makes you drunk with afflictions. He gives you so much afflictions that you can't even think straight no more. Now imagine you drink for real, you get drunk. Okay, you ain't really thinking straight. You ain't gonna think straight. That's a proof you can't think straight.
You don't want to think straight.
But the Lord will make you drink all of that what's in the cup, will make you drink all whatever's in that cup, depending on what's in that cup, and that's what you deserve. So everybody gotta sit there and drink. The Lord say drink, you drink. Now watch what's in the cup for those that take the mark. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, to verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High.
Same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. You go ahead, you get the mark. That's coming out. That charagma. You get that incision, you get that cut. You get this identity, right? That radio frequency, so that you can buy yourself, right? But then the judgment of the Lord is going to get passed down to you. And that's in the form of a drink. Again, that part with the drink.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High.
So your drink is going to be filled with the wrath of the Most High, right? By way of fire, thermonuclear destruction, intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic ballistic missiles, multiple warheads shot over here, right? That arrow, all right? That the mighty arch is going to shoot, coming out of the silo, coming out of the quiver, that bow, over here, that glitter sword in the sky, that iron spear, that iron, weapon flying over here, and then detonating over you people. That's a part of the portion of your cup that you're going to drink for taking a mark. Simple. So we learn about equity. Every cause has a reaction, has an effect. Cause and effect. The cause and the effect. And you got to say throughout the Yahawashi for simplifying it for us so that we can see and walk as cause and effect. We really, as we walk in with wisdom, we're applying that aspect of the scriptures. There's going to be a cause, there's going to be an effect if I do this. What's the effect if I do this? We calculating all day long. Spiritual calculations. Should I? No. Should I? No. No. Nope. Nope. Okay, calm. Let's do that. The Spirit going to lead you. Well, it was not for us to drink in the cup. Come to find out, we was always supposed to be the children who the Heavenly Father set up. We're destined for crowns. We're destined for rulership. We're destined to inherit a kingdom forever, an everlasting kingdom. So, of course, it wasn't meant for us, the ones who was destined. However, we weren't allowed. We weren't allowed to keep the laws that you made perfect. So naturally, we went into captivity to fulfill that part of the law, to fulfill that part of the curse. That's the obligation. That's the contract. That's the agreement. Right? So that's why the scriptures tell you not to vow a vow. You don't go around making promises and vows that you can't keep. This is the biggest example of it, right? Is that we had to go through captivity. We're going to keep it. And that's where the mercy come in, because now they're going to be perfect. Go ahead out. It wasn't for us to drink.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Pour it out without mixture. So when you get a mixed drink, it's going to be a lot lighter. You can sip on that 10 times longer. You can sip on 10 of those before it might hit you, maybe 3, 2. All right, lower it down a little bit, drop it down. Right? Because there's a Jake out there that goes, I did for 12. Well, what you do with what we know is a mixed drink. Terrible or the Chinese that they want to do this to us, or how bad. That's the most basic level concept that you can think is going on when you think about World War III. That China over there, big mad that we put tariffs on. Russia over there, just big mad that that Ukraine is. It's the Lord's dealings. He about to cleanse this whole land by way of this fire. It's needed for cleansing. It's needed for these people to be restored again. It's needed to take out all this filth. All this junk that we talking about refraining from, it got to be destroyed. So that you ain't going to be able to touch it in the kingdom. It's not going to exist. Whereas Esau, the one who perpetrates these drugs out here, these philosophies, you know, he perpetrates this kingdom, this land with the wickedness, upholds it. He's going to be subjugated and go into captivity and slavery. Oh, matter of fact, you get this. Go ahead.
He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angel and in the presence of the Lamb.
And let's grab where is it in Job 21 and 22. Sufficiency. Because we need Esau to be wiped out and destroyed. We need Yahawashi to cleanse and eradicate this earth from this one true character, this misfit named Esau Edom, man, who goes around the world, you know, waging wars, committing all type of evil, and then hiding his hand. He throws a stone and hides his hand. He's corrupted. He's a corrupter of all good things, good-natured things. So the Heavenly Father going to do us the biggest favor that has ever happened. He's going to deal with Esau, wipe them out continually after the slavery. And the Yahawashi known as the King of Terrors.
It's the book of Job 20, verse 20. It says, it's like verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in the straits. Job 20, verse 15. It says, he shall swallow down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly.
So we, just like Pharaoh, we left with those riches. We're going to leave. We're going to inherit Esau's riches and all of that wealth. So we actually go ahead and store it up for us. So you got to give it up. That's a part of you losing your rulership in your kingdom. More proof you're going to lose his kingdom. You got to give up all his riches. What's an Edomite without being rich?
Nobody, man.
What's an Edomite without money, man? A double loser. That's what the apostle been calling them.
Yeah.
They were double losers. You kind of feel a certain type of way of the Edomites around you. You ain't got no bread. Feel some type of way, man.
Get away from me. Yep. Yeah, get away from me.
Man, go on. Like, you can't help it. Talk, you know?
Talk to him kind of different.
Because this your world, and look at you. Look at you. You mad.
Big man.
You want to argue?
It says, he shall suck the poison of asps, the viper tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the flood, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down.
So we're going to be rich. Wealthy, right? The forces of the Gentiles, because it shall be added unto you. All right, forces going into wealth. All right, the Lord got us with a big bag to take care of in a long time, extended amounts of time to deal with it. Pleasures evermore, things not seen, right? Can't be explained. You can't really wrap your mind around it, even if somebody told you.
Hey, how do Esau make his greatest money? His tourism is simply Esau making money off of the Lord's creation. Because all of the tourism that you see are really you got Yosemite, you got Yellowstone, you got Nakalula Falls, it's always a natural, it's a lake, it's something God-given. It's something Esau can't make.
Grand Canyon.
Yeah, Grand Canyon. Esau make money off of that. Don't you know it's people that would pay a state to have that for their backyard. That's wealth right there, just to be able to have that particular view. That brings about a better spirit, a better thought. The whole nine, just a view. That's wealth, man. We're going to have that again. That's why the Lord said that Esau should have the fatness of the earth that goes into the choice plush places, man. Because hey, Birmingham's a good looking area, but the areas I done seen that Esau be staying in, man, it can't. Hey, we can't compare the spots we get to live in compared to where he stay. But you got it up.
Yeah. In due time, man. Yeah. He even sells us water, man. This whole it is water. You know, the most resourceful thing in the world. He done messed it up, and now he got to sell it. But go ahead,
It says, because he hath oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away a house which he buildeth not.
Yeah, America. We're over here naming names, and the spirit had me thinking about Christopher Columbus today, and how, you know, this guy Hitler got all this bad rep for doing what anybody would have did in that situation while they was ransacking the country. But he got this bad rep. You know he was juiced in, but he got this bad rep. And here it is, Columbus got a day, man. Still got a holiday. How many more millions of people is Columbus responsible for killing than Hitler? The thing is that nobody has sympathy on these tribes. You can't expect, because we were set up here to be a scapegoat. When you look into how most societies are set up, big empires are set up, they always got a class that is a scapegoat class. When you go into India, they call if I'm not mistaken, they call it Dalit. Oh no, the personables or something like that.
The undesirables.
The undesirables.
Those
I think they also call it Dalit.
Yeah, it's a name for it.
It's a dark skinned race of Islam or whoever, you know, in India, Islam or Elam, and they are the subjected class. They the class if anything bad happens, they go to, just like Nero with the Christians in Rome. If anything bad happens, this will be blamed, and they work on top. They build on top of this subjugated class of people. So oppression always comes with every society, every kingdom. We those people. We the ones that are casted at the bottom. We the ones that if something go bad, just play continually. News, turn on it, what is it, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock news. You're gonna see about all the murders, but you ain't gonna hear about none of the white collar crimes, nothing, because they need to keep that class, right? You in a class, you know, they need to keep you as the scapegoat. But we ain't gonna have to worry about that no more, man. It's a new time coming, it's a new day coming, revised, changed situation, perfected situation. This always cast it out, and it's going to cast out with the fire. You want this place to be on fire. That's the beginning of your new life. You get to look at yourself in a new light. Your team, your people restored again. Your children back to their health. Your wives back to their health, right? Israel back to his health, fully restored like a strong man, not a crouching lion. So we need this place to fall. Go ahead.
It says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired.
He desired it, that he continue on. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. He wants to be this mastermind that goes into the stars, into the inhabiting other planets like we supposed to. He wants to be us. Even when the stars is still our identity, while we was looking, right? While we was asleep. He was technically asleep at that time. The Lord said he ain't bring us here that he would destroy us, right? We were sent over here to captivity that you would be destroyed. This is a check, right? This is a situation with a time of reflection. This is a grace period, right? We got jacked up, man. But look at how meaningful it is that you could spiritually, you closer to the Lord than you ever been. Spiritually, by way of these precepts, through instruction, through correction, through doctrine, sound doctrine, something formidable you can stand on, a foundation, a clearer mind now, right? A lot of your problems got solved by these precepts. All of your problems get solved by these precepts. There's a precept for every problem. And you in Babylon, you're supposed to be bugged out, backwards, tripping, right? People walk by you every day looking at you because you ain't bugged out as they are. But it's the Lord got us, he got us in this truth, man, for a reason. Restore us. He going into how we gonna be back as kings, prosperity, he ain't gonna have it. His media, his wealth, he ain't gonna have it. Alright? His rulership, his reign, his authority goes. It's wiped away, clean slate. Now you back as the bum of the earth, the lowly and the base man that you actually are. And once you're in that position, there ain't no crawling out of that cage. You will forever permanently be that man. And then you have a period where you're just gonna be wiped out. The Lord gonna deal with you. So, yo, when it comes to Esau, man, that's the worst position you possibly could. Now he's ruling the world. How much more is these lies prominent, man? The lies are prominent. Most people gonna believe on the lies that Esau spread because he don't want the world to find out about himself. That doesn't change the fact that you still the Edomites. You still gonna pay because you lied about it. Who is Esau? Am I Esau? Is that Esau? You over here lying about it. But still, the Lord don't know who Esau is. That's all we need. That's all we need. We just know that the Lord knows who Esau is, and we believe it's you. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, real quick. The book of Job 20 and 27. It says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him.
There it is. It's truth coming out. It's being it's exploding like wildfire, and you're trying to put it out. Channel interruptions, Wi-Fi disconnections. Brothers are going live, wipe out. You can't even find them. Yep. Live link. Yep. All right. Why? All to hide a lie, but you're being found out. You're saying satellite you in the sky, showing you fall into your own traps and your own snares. Right? Same satellites get beamed, and then this word gets. These are digital epistles. They get sent out. Audio visual epistles. And brothers get edified from. Now we all can see and point to who you are. Go ahead.
Much more in riches, and he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty. And that's Esau. We see how he conducts himself in his riches. He could have this world as a utopia, but he chooses not because he's showing you who he is, because the Lord set him up to be what he's doing. The wicked, man. There's no reason with all of this technology on the planet Earth, there's no reason any of us should have to get up and go to work and labor day in and day out. But up under the devil, hey, we have to labor day in and day out. That shows his dishonesty, man. All right, so I'll read that. It says, the poor man is honored for his skill, and ultimately, that's going into the men that you see before you. Lord willing, we be at that number. We should be honored for our skills because of the breakdown. All right? And the rich man is honored for his riches, as the brother was going into. What is Esau without his riches? Really, what is Esau without his riches? He's a murderer, a robber, a thief. You see him for what he is. But because he has the riches, you kind of you keep that to yourself. You keep it to yourself because you hoping for filthy lucre. You know, Jake is looking for a handout. As long as I don't call him out on his wickedness. Verse 31: He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? It says he that is honored in poverty. These brothers, LeBron James, how much more greater? How much more of would we understand a LeBron if he just wasn't dribbling the basketball? But you see what the lady said on the news. Hey, man, shut up and dribble. So we'll never know how great his mind could have been. You see? But he's honored because of his skill. And Esau tell you to be quiet because of the money that his skill has brought him. So it's the money that's honored. The Lord is continuing, it says, and he that is dishonorable in riches. You see, that's the only reason we even take heed of Esau, is because it's riches. You know how you got them, but the entire world is taking hold of this taking hold of the dollar, so we got a deal. It says, And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? So he's a thief right now. You see him stealing. What more when the Lord debates this guy? What will you really expect from him in Jacob's trouble when the Lord takes the veil off him and he really shows his nakedness? Do you expect him to show you equity and show you justice in that day? No, he's gonna show you his true horns. He gonna get busy and do what the Lord set him up to do. And that's a scary thought within itself, man. But you got it up.
And with that, we're gonna close it out. This video was edifying. Giving all glory, honor, and praises due
to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Qadash.
Hey, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, rule well over the flock. Shalom, salutations. Until next time. Shalom.
Shalom.
Tonight, right now, water for 20.